The sky turns dark at noon. Ash falls before you feel the heat behind it. Somewhere beneath the ground, a mountain has decided your day is over. In 79 CE, the surge that buried Pompeii reached roughly 250 to 300 degrees Celsius, hot enough to kill a sheltered person almost instantly, not through suffocation, but sudden thermal shock. So how did anyone ever survive a volcano at all? In 2024, anthropologist John Kappelman and his team at the University of Texas at Austin studied an answer buried in the lowlands of northwest Ethiopia. Their site, Shinfa-Metema 1, sat close enough to feel the fallout of the Toba supervolcano, an eruption roughly 74,000 years ago once blamed for nearly ending the human species entirely. The team went in expecting to find signs of collapse, evidence of a population barely clinging on. They found the opposite. As waterholes shrank under a longer, harsher dry season that followed the eruption, this population didn't starve quietly and wait for rain. They changed what they ate, leaned hard into fish, and built new hunting weapons to chase whatever fast, small prey the drought had left behind. In human terms, the volcano didn't just take things away. It forced an upgrade nobody asked for. And that upgrade left physical evidence behind, buried in stone, waiting 74,000 years to finally be read. Start with the stone point first. This wasn't just a rock chipped into a triangle. It was a delivery system for lethal force at a distance, shaped and thinned to be mounted on a thin wooden shaft. It let a hunter strike fast game that would simply outrun a handheld spear, and the timing lines up almost exactly with the Toba crisis itself, disaster apparently accelerating invention rather than only destroying it. Next, the hearth. This wasn't just a fire pit, it was a safety filter. Cooking fish and small game broke down proteins and killed off pathogens that raw meat, eaten under drought stress with immune systems already strained thin, could otherwise turn fatal within days. And then obsidian, the volcano's own glass. This wasn't just sharp rock, it was surgical geometry, born from disaster. A single correct strike fractures it into an edge only atoms wide, meaning the very material actively trying to kill you could later be cooled, shaped, and turned into one of the finest cutting tools of the entire Stone Age. Picture the waterhole first, cracked mud where there used to be a pool deep enough to swim in. The air smells like dust and old fish, dry and faintly sour. You test the mud with a foot. It barely holds your weight anymore. This place is dying, slowly enough to plan for, and everyone here already knows it. So you move, not far, just far enough. Along the riverbed, toward the next low depression that might still hold water beneath the surface. This is not panic. It is method, tested across generations. When one source runs dry, you do not sit and wait for rain to refill it. You already know, from 100 repetitions before this one, roughly where the next pocket of water should be hiding. At the new site, the diet has already shifted under you. Before the dry season tightened its grip, fish was a backup food, eaten only when better options ran out entirely. Now it is the plan itself. Small, easy to catch in a shrinking pool, and cooked slowly over a low fire, safe enough to eat without the gamble raw meat now carries in a body already weakened by scarcity. The stone point in your hand is new too, thinner than anything your parents ever carried, built for speed over raw mass. You loose it toward the water's edge. It doesn't need to be powerful. It only needs to be fast enough to catch something that no longer has anywhere far left to run. 74,000 years and roughly 7,000 kilometers away, the mountain that caused all of this has already gone completely silent. It doesn't matter anymore. The consequence outlived the cause by generations. Now shift scenes entirely. Same planet, a different disaster, 73,000 years later, give or take. In Herculaneum, hundreds of people crowd into stone boat chambers by the sea, waiting for a rescue that boats will never reach in time. There is no fish here, no riverbed, no method. Just a single wrong bet on where safety was supposed to be. The surge that reaches them is measured, afterward, at temperatures capable of killing almost instantly, before most of them could even finish the thought that they'd chosen wrong. Two disasters, thousands of years apart, two very different decisions. Only one of them left descendants behind. The pivot happened somewhere between those two stories, when small mobile bands became large, fixed settlements. A forager at Shinfa-Metema could abandon a dying waterhole in a day and know, from memory, where the next one likely sat. That specific knowledge, the map of fallback options carried entirely in a group's shared memory, is what got lost. Permanent buildings, farmland, and cities replaced it, offering comfort in exchange for the ability to simply walk away. Today, roughly 700,000 people live inside Vesuvius's official high-risk evacuation zone, according to Italian civil protection figures, and their survival depends entirely on sirens, monitoring stations, and planned routes out, a centralized system with no ancient equivalent, because no one alive today carries a map like that in their head anymore. You check an app for the warning. They read cracked mud and knew to move before anyone had to tell them. You wait for an official evacuation order. They were already 3 riverbeds away by the time the ground finished shaking. You call it disaster preparedness, a system, a plan, a checklist. They called it Tuesday, an ordinary decision made with ordinary knowledge. The mountain went quiet 74,000 years ago. The knowledge it demanded from every one of us never fully came back, and most of us never noticed it was gone. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, based on historical and scientific research. It is not a survival or disaster preparedness guide. Do not attempt to replicate any content shown.